What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this. Beautiful, delicious, cheesy, scratch-made, amazing grilled chicken parm sandwich. Coming up. This is some chicken. Pat it dry. And what I've got here is some chicken breasts. Picked these up at the grocery store. They are boneless, they are skinless, pretty run-of-the-mill standard stuff. But I suppose you could use chicken thighs if you wanted to. I've got plenty of chicken thigh sandwiches on this channel. But for what we're making today, I think the breast is the right choice. And that's because today we're making some grilled chicken parm sandwiches, because I love a good chicken parmesan. I make it around the house all the time for weeknight dinners. And a chicken parm sandwich, when done right, is absolutely fantastic. And I figure swapping out a fried chicken cutlet for a piece of grilled chicken breast is not only going to be a little bit healthier, but also really tasty. And I did do a video a while back about making grilled chicken parm, and it was absolutely fantastic, and I'm kind of excited to revisit it in sandwich form. So first things first, we're going to go around and trim these up a little bit, take off any scraggly bits or extra pieces of fat or anything that doesn't look too appetizing, just to clean them up a little bit. But honestly, these are looking pretty good right out of the package. And then I want to flatten these out a little bit, and you could go ahead and butterfly them, but I also want to tenderize these. So I'm going to bust out the old jacquard, all these little blades, and pound this out, putting a lot of little holes in there, which will help make it nice and tender while flattening it out a little bit. Nothing too thin, but that looks pretty good to me. So now we'll go ahead and do it to the other one as well. Beautiful. And when it comes to seasoning these up, you could do whatever you like. I'm sure salt and pepper would work out just fine, or your favorite barbecue rub. But for me, I'm going to go down with some good old-fashioned Chuds BBQ Gold, which was originally intended for poultry, so it's really good on chicken. Go figure. Got some nice herbs in there, good savory notes. There's also a little bit of lemon in there, which is really nice. Brightens things up a little bit. So just a nice healthy coating on both sides. Flip them over. Smelling good already, folks. And like most of our rubs, it's pretty low sodium, so you can really go on with a lot of this stuff without over-seasoning your meat, which is convenient. Don't forget the sides. And now I'm going to park these in the fridge for the next little bit to kind of dry brine, let that rub adhere to the chicken and get flavor all the way throughout. Next up, let's go ahead and knock out some hoagie rolls. Starting with some warm water, our yeast, and our sugar. And give that a quick little mix. And then in with our bread flour, and some Diastatic malt powder, and let that come together. And then in with some softened butter and some kosher salt, and let this knead for 6 to 8 minutes. And once you've got a nice smooth topped ball, into a grease bowl we go, and we're gonna let this rise for the next 60 to 90 minutes. And once our dough has doubled in size, out it comes, boop, and we can go ahead and start punching all the air out. Very nice dough to work with, though. And now I'm going to go ahead and portion this out into some 150-gram dough balls. And then grab a piece of dough and form all the seams to the underside for a nice smooth ball. And now I'm going to cover these up and let these rest for about 15-20 minutes just to relax a little bit so we can roll them out into some hoagie-shaped logs. And after letting these rest for just a minute, I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these, place it down, and punch all the air out one more time, making it a little bit wider. And then go ahead and roll this up nice and tight. Pinch all the seams together, flip that over, and pinch that big bottom seam together as well. And then give it a few rolls just to try and make it a nice even shape. And this is where you can really decide how big you want these things to be. Thinking something like that is looking pretty good. And repeat with the rest. And once all shaped up, I've got them on this little baguette tray, which should work out very nicely. I used this in the banh mi episode and it worked out great. So these should have a nice shape to them, but you could always put these on a sheet tray if you don't have one of these. But now I'm going to go ahead and spray these down with a little bit of water and sprinkle them with some sesame seeds. As many or as few as you see fit. And then I'm going to cover these back up with some greased plastic wrap and let them rise and proof again for probably another 45 minutes to an hour. I'm also going to squish these down just a little bit so they're a little wider rather than taller. And after proofing for a second time, these are looking nice and puffy and nice and full. So now I'm going to go ahead and score the tops a couple times with the old bread raiser here. And now it's time to bake these off. And I got my oven preheated to 450 degrees, which is pretty toasty. And I'm also going to spray these with some water right before they go in to make sure they don't get too dark and they steam a little bit, giving us a nice crispy light coat. So now into the oven these go for probably about 20 minutes. And just like that, 20 minutes later, out of the oven these come, and I gotta say, these are looking absolutely beautiful. Love the color on there. Smelling absolutely fantastic. And this is the other one that didn't fit that I just put on a sheet tray. Also looking incredibly good. So now I'm gonna park these on a wire rack and let them cool down for a little bit. And this video is in fact sponsored by Poncho, the maker of these lovely shirts I've been rocking for the last several months. And I am genuinely a huge fan of Poncho and these shirts because they're lightweight, they're breathable, they got a good amount of stretch to them, and they're pretty much perfect for every occasion. You know, whether I'm traveling all around Australia, cooking here in the backyard, trying to catch some fish, or eating out at a fancy restaurant, the Poncho just works for pretty much every occasion. Because they've just got that nice clean look, and the lightweight feel of these shirts is absolutely perfect for travel. They're great in hot weather, they're comfy, and they look good. What more do you need out of a shirt? And they come in many different colors and several different styles, including the Western with the pearl snaps, the original, which is very similar to the Western, except it's got buttons instead of pearl snaps, and this one has magnetic pockets. And the ultralight, which is absolutely perfect for summertime because it's just a little bit less busy with just a single pocket on this side, so it's incredibly lightweight and breathable and perfect for these Texas summers. And they've also got t-shirts, they've got flannels and denims for the colder months, and they've got different sizing options like slim or regular. But other than the look, the fit, and the feel, they got some really great features as well, like the sunglasses holder, built-in lens cloth, a nice big chest pocket, hold your phone, and it zips, which is really convenient if you're trying not to lose your phone while on a canoe in Hawaii. Also, the collar snaps shut for an even more clean look. And all in all, they're just super comfy, lightweight, breathable, really good looking shirts. So if you want to get some Poncho shirts for yourself, go to ponchooutdoors.com by clicking my link in the description box down below, where you can enter your email and get $10 off your first purchase. Again, that's ponchooutdoors.com, where using my link you can enter your email to get $10 off your first purchase. Thank you, Poncho. Next up, let's go ahead and knock out a quick tomato sauce for these sandwiches. Starting, we're going into a pot with some pancetta. If you can't find this, bacon would work, or you could skip it entirely. A lot of tomato sauces don't start out with meat, but come on, I want to add a little extra smokiness. And also, pancetta is really good. And once that is looking nice and crispy, I'm going to go ahead and pull all of this out and let it drain on a paper towel. God, it smells so good. Beautiful. And then going into all this pancetta fat is 1 diced up onion, and get that cooking down. And once those are looking nice and translucent and starting to take on some color, I'm going to go in with a couple tablespoons of some tomato paste and get that stirred in, as well as our garlic. And let both of these toast down for like 2-3 minutes. And once that starts smelling absolutely incredible, in we go with 1 can of some crushed tomatoes. And once up to a simmer, we're going to let this reduce down a little bit, but we're also going to go into some red chili flakes and some kosher salt as well. And cook this down for probably 5-10 minutes. And after cooking down for like 20 minutes or so, this is looking really nice and thick, which is exactly what I'm going for here, because I want it to stay on the sandwich. But now we can go ahead and finish this off with a few extra ingredients, including some freshly chopped up basil, some sugar to help balance out all those tomatoes, and any remaining pancetta that you didn't just snack on for the last half an hour. And then get this all folded together, taste and adjust for seasoning, and our red sauce is done. And with our bread, sauce, and cheese ready to go, all we got to do now is cook off that chicken. So let's go ahead and fire up the pit. Got the old Chud grill here fired up. Gonna hit this with a little bit of spray. And now we're simply gonna grill off some chicken breast. Ooh, love that sizzle. Nothing fancy here, folks. Just gonna cook this through, get some good color on there, and try not to overcook them. We'll trap some smoke in there. Why not? And just like that, in just a few minutes, we've got some beautiful looking grilled off chicken breast. Honestly, we got a little bit of a blackening thing going on there with that hot grill. But I just clocked these in at 150 degrees, so now I'm gonna pull these off and let them rest over here and carry over. But now, I think it's finally time to build a sandwich. Starting out with one of our beautiful looking rolls here. Very pleased with how these came out. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing cut down the middle. Absolutely beautiful looking crumb on that. Nice and squishy, nice and fluffy. And now I'm gonna go ahead and get these toasted off real quick. Just a light toast, nothing crazy. And yeah, maybe I did butter those up before I threw them under my broiler in the toaster oven. But set these aside for now while we build our little chicken parm here. Got this beautiful grilled off chicken breast, to which I'm gonna go down with some of our lovely thick sauce here. Ooh, I can feel the bacon in there. pancetta. Sorry, just a healthy schmear. And then we'll go down with a few shreds of some fresh mozzarella for that extra creaminess and silkiness. And then a generous amount of some full fat, whole milk, low moisture mozzarella on top. And then finish that off with some freshly shaved Parmigiano Reggiano, because this is a chicken parm at the end of the day. Gotta have some parm on there. Probably should have parmed the bread. That would have been a good idea. Beautiful. Now I'm going to pop this under the broiler for a couple of minutes until we've got some good color and some really nice meltage. But now, let's build. Starting with our beautifully toasted bun. Go ahead and throw some extra sauce on these buns while we're here. Might as well. Followed by a little extra parm. Gotta be done. And then down with our big, beautiful, cheesy chicken breast. What a monstrosity. Top that with some freshly torn up basil for a nice little garnish and a pop of freshness. And then top it all off. Definitely did not make the buns and the chicken the same size, but I'm okay with it. You know, sometimes I'm making these videos and I think, why did I make 2 chicken breasts and so many of these rolls? Because this sandwich is absolutely gigantic, but I think it's time to see how this came out. You know, typically with any sub-style sandwich like this, I like to wrap them up in parchment to get them all squished together, but to be honest, I can't wait any longer, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this right down the middle. For a beautiful cross section. Ooh, that's a lot of chicken. Maybe I should have pounded that thinner. Bread looks fantastic though. Bottoms up. That's a good first bite right there, folks. That chicken is so tender. You gotta love that. And juicy too. Honestly, at first glance, I thought I did not make that chicken thin enough because, you know, that's a big piece of chicken, but it eats so well. You know, it's nice and tender, very flavorful, definitely picking up on that grill flavor. And then it just pairs so nicely with that bread and that sauce, and I gotta go back for another one. That is ridiculously good. That is so perfect. It's meaty, it's cheesy. It's got so much complexity from the acidity and the umami from that tomato sauce, all coming together in that classic sesame seed bun. That's a winner right there, folks. That pancetta in there makes it. I mean, tell me you don't want to take a big bite of this chicken sandwich on that freshly baked bread. I mean, come on, folks. That is absolutely just packed with flavor. You know, you got that salty bacon, that fatty cheese, the acidic tomatoes, and a little bit of kick from those chili flakes, all coming together for a perfect bite. That's just so satisfying, and at the same time, you're getting nice and filled up, you know what I mean? I don't even know if I could eat this entire sandwich, but here's to trying. That is an incredible sandwich. I hope it's coming through on camera just how tender that chicken breast is in there, because when you think about putting an entire chicken breast on a sandwich, you think it's gonna be dry, it's gonna be tough, but this is eating as easily as like a burger or something, where nothing's pulling out, it's nice and tender, but nice and toothsome, and quite a satisfying bite, if I'm being honest. Also, that bread recipe is fantastic, so I'm not even mad about having a little chickenless bite at the end here. And with this very last bite of grilled chicken parm sandwich, I think it's time for the official taste test. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make an absolutely fantastic grilled chicken parm sandwich. I highly recommend giving this one a try, you know. That's definitely a contender for best bite of the year thus far, and it was pretty simple. And there was 0 point when I was eating that sandwich that I wished that that chicken breast was fried. You know, there's so many other textures and flavors going on, and also it's in bread, so we don't really need to bread it, right? And honestly, it was a pretty quick and easy process. You know, I don't think I have a simpler recipe for chicken on this channel than just seasoning and grilling off a chicken breast. That bread dough is super forgiving and pretty beginner friendly, and that sauce came together in like 20 minutes. All for a fantastic sandwich that I will definitely be making again very soon. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Team Chud members. Thank you for supporting this channel and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.